I'm muted. Good morning, everybody. This is Jim Hacking, Immigration Answers Show, immigration lawyer practicing law outside and throughout the United States with our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. I figured I better tell that every now and then on the show because lately we've been having some callers who don't know that I'm an immigration lawyer. So that's sort of funny. I don't know. I guess they think I just sort of like talking about immigration and that people like listening to what I have to say. That's sort of funny. Everybody, if you could, Yasher, good to see you, buddy. Everyone, let me know where you're watching from. Good to have all of you with us today. We'll probably go the full hour. And then tomorrow we're going to take the day off. Tomorrow is my wife's birthday. Amani is celebrating a milestone birthday, and we're here celebrating, so we're very excited about that. We will be dark tomorrow, and then Friday, sometime during the course of this show, I will figure out what time we're going to be on Friday. All right. We already have some people in the waiting room, so let's get right to it. Hi, Johanna.
Hello. Happy early birthday to your wife.
Thanks so much.
So, let me just tell to everyone that this process, going through immigration, has been the most destroying mentally process that I've ever been through. I've been married. I moved to the U.S. with a K-1 fiance visa in end of 2019. Got married in December 2019. Applied after many times of trying to send the application in and getting rejected. Finally, my application was received on August 2020. Did my biometrics July 2021. Didn't get anything back until I think September, when I got the interview date, which was on October 4th of 2021. I got my permit on December, my work permit. And after my interview, I got annoyed, which we previously talked about this. You told me to send everything that I have, and I did listen to your advice. I sent back everything, was helpful. I got an RFE after that. I sent the response to NOID on November 2021, and I got an RFE December 13th. That was the mistake that the civil surgeon did not fill out a part in page 12. So I had to resubmit it. And I did. I did the mistake of not paying the right shipping fee. So I didn't have a tracking number. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
So last time that I talked to you was, what do you think? Because it's almost 60 days, and should I resubmit the I-693? Because they don't tell me that they received it, and I cannot trace it. So you told me to resend it, and I decided to wait since it was close to 60 days. I decided to wait one more week, which would be this week. And if I got nothing back by this week, I would get and resubmit it before 10th of March, which was my deadline. What happened is yesterday, I got this stupid status update on my case saying interview canceled. And there's a notice saying, we, as advised, or I don't know, something like that, as per request, cancel the interview in October 4th, 2021. And I'm like, what did happen? Like, I attended the interview. How can it be canceled? It could be revoked or like, I don't know, rejected, but not canceled.
Because it already happened.
Yeah, so I tried to get in touch with Daniel. I couldn't yesterday. And I also said, when is Jim, I posted something on the immigrant group, when is Jim next going live? Because I was like in panic. I was crying. Ever since I'm here in the US, I had 2 family members dying, my uncle and my aunt, because of COVID. And these were my 2 saddest moments. And yesterday was the 3rd one. Like, that's how much sad I was and depressed. So I called a different lawyer here in Jacksonville to get an advice, a consultation, or like, what should I do next?
Yeah.
So he said that it might be a technical, or it might be a glitch in the system, or like it can be possible that you get a cancellation if you attended the interview. So give a couple of days. If anything changes, good. If not, we can proceed with writing a letter to USCIS and asking for clarification. So, and I called the immigration number, the USCIS number, and somebody responds, this agent, and she tells me, yeah, in my system it shows that your interview was completed and you're in the list for a card to be produced. So that might just be a glitch. So I couldn't be happy at that moment. I didn't know if I should be happy or still sad, like what is going on. I was so confused. And with my previous history with USCIS agent, I did not have a good experience. They always, someone tells me something, the other one tells me something different. So I
Right.
couldn't be so happy. But this morning I woke up and it says case is approved.
Nice.
Finally. So I
Nice.
promised to come in the show and tell you that when this happens, I promise to come in the show and tell you and thank you so much for your advices. You've been a lot of help, and I promise that in my future times when I need something to do with immigration, I'm gonna get a lawyer. I'm not doing this by myself. This is
Awesome.
too much. This is
Awesome.
too much
Congratulations.
job for.
I'm very happy for you. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome. I had a question. Do you think I got married on 2019, December 2019, and it's past my 2 years of marriage. Do you think I'm gonna get the 10-year green card or the 2-year green card?
10-year green card.
Okay, let's hope so I don't have to deal with them for a long time.
Yeah, then all you have to worry about is citizenship. Yep. Congratulations. We're really happy for you. Thanks, Johanna,
Thank
for
you
coming
so
on.
much. Thank you so much for all your
See
help.
ya.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. All right. All right. So we are thinking about starting a new podcast. Well, it's sort of reviving an old podcast. And what I'm going to do, I think, is just pick 4 or 5 calls a week and turn the audio of those into a podcast. That would certainly be a good story for the Immigration Answer Show podcast. All right, now listen up, everybody. We got a bunch of people in the waiting room, so I really appreciated Johanna coming on the show and giving us that anguishing tale of her immigration history. I would say that sometimes having an immigration lawyer would have cut down on a lot of that stuff, but in the end, with all you guys in the waiting room, if you can get to your story and your question pretty quickly, we got plenty of time, but just so that everyone else can get on, let's try to knock out as many as we can today. Hi, Arsenio.
Hey, how are you doing, Jim?
I'm great. How are you, brother?
I'm good. My question is, I got married in November to my U.S. citizen wife. So here's the thing. She wasn't working the past 3 years,
Okay.
but in October last year, she got a job, and she's making close to $100,000 now. So my question is, she haven't filed taxes yet. And for the past 3 years, that's something on the affidavit support.
Wait, she made zero income the last 3 years? Zero income?
Yeah. She
And
was unemployed.
She did not file a tax return in those years?
She was unemployed.
She needs to file tax returns for all those years.
Okay.
Whether you get a co-sponsor or not, she has to file. You have to submit 3 years of tax returns for the petitioner, even if she had zero income.
So she's gonna have to file for all those 3 years.
Yep.
And do I still need a co-sponsor?
I think so. I mean, you can try if you finish up her taxes for 2021 and they show she made $100,000, and you submit the tax returns for the other 2 years showing she made zero. I think there's a 20% chance that they just let it slide, but I think more likely they're going to ask for a co-sponsor. So if it were me, I would while I'm doing her taxes, I would also be working on finding a co-sponsor and working on the co-sponsor's affidavit support. That way you don't have you already filed?
Yeah, she already filed the I-130.
Okay, and the 45?
No, I haven't filed.
Are you
I-8.
overseas, or are you in the United States, or are you
Yeah, I'm in
overseas?
the United States.
So you filed the I-130 all by itself.
Yeah,
Why? Why did you do that?
because we did it online.
Yeah, see, that was a bad call, because now you're going to confuse them. Now your green card application is separated from your I-130. You need to get that 485 on file. Plus, the I-130 doesn't give you any status at all. So, we always tell people, don't ever file your I-130 separate unless the petitioner is a green card holder and not a U.S. citizen.
So I need to get the
You need to get
adjustment of.
moving. You said you got married in November. It's February. This should all be done already.
So, but the problem is the affidavit support part. That's what I'm worried about.
So get a co-sponsor and move on. You got to you're going to need a co-sponsor. 80% chance you need a co-sponsor. So you might as well accept that. Go get one and get to work.
Okay. So hurry up, file the tax, and get a co-sponsor.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Bye, Arsenio. Have a good day.
You too.
All right. Next up is Mohammed. Hi, Mohammed. Mohammed, you're on mute, my friend.
Hey, hi, how you doing, Jim?
Good. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. Thank you for what you've been doing for all of us. We appreciate it. I just have a couple of questions. Okay, first question is that in 2011 I got convicted with aggravated felony. So I was detained, but I got released due to not getting my document. So in 2020 I got picked up, ICE. So I got a lawyer who filed motion to reopen when I was detained, but the judge refused the motion due to hardship. So, but I got case appeal. So I got released on bond. So right now I'm on bond. So now we have the case on BIA. So, but last 6 months I got my case vacated, like it got dismissed.
The criminal
Oh.
case.
It was a state case.
The aggravated felony case got vacated by the state court.
Yeah, by the state court. They all got vacated, dismissed. So
Good.
now my lawyers have the case remanded, but he wants to remand the case back to the judge to get reopened. So
Yeah,
I just
good.
want to know, how long does it take for them to get a reply from BIA to have the case remanded to the judge?
Did the lawyer file that motion already?
Yeah, she did file the motion already from BIA to remand the case to the immigration judge.
First of all, did she help you get that criminal conviction vacated? That's a great result. You should be very happy.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's great.
I think 6 to 8 months.
Oh, 6 to 8 months for them to have the case remanded to the judge.
Yeah.
But so if it got remanded to the judge, so how long does it take for the judge to give me a court date? Does it take this?
Hey, Mohammed, nothing fast is happening at immigration, my friend. Nothing. I mean, they're setting cases right now for 2025.
Oh, okay. But if the case got remanded to the judge, can I apply for advanced parole or something like that, because I have my I-130 approved, but because of the conviction, the case was kind of like in hold because of the conviction?
You're not leaving the United States until you get your green card.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Jim. That's all I want to know. Thank you.
Good luck, buddy. You got it. See ya.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, JP is next. Hi, JP.
Hey, good afternoon, Jim.
How are you?
I'm good. So I have a question about H-1B visa interviews. So I know that H-1B visas are dual intent, but I have a question where if I filed an I-140 prior to the change of status from my F1 student status to H-1B, is that something that could come back to bite me during a visa interview because the F1 visa is not dual intent, even though the H-1B is.
So walk me through this. So you came to the United States to go to school on an F1,
Right.
and you graduated and you went on OPT, right?
Right.
And then at some time while your OPT is pending and you're still on your F1 visa, an employer filed an I-140 for you, right?
So I filed the I-140 self-petition myself.
Why did you do that?
Because it was the classification I was seeking. I was seeking the EB-1A classification.
Why do you, what qualifications do you think you have that make you likely to get approved for an EB-1A?
I had some awards and I fulfill a couple criteria, including awards and leading role in my organization and publications.
I think the chances of somebody just out of college getting an EB-1A approved are probably about less than 5%.
Oh no, right. It's already been denied. I guess I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
So
okay.
So the I-140 was denied already. And that's not really a problem because I am on H-1B now. But my question is, will the fact that I filed that I-140 while I was on OPT be like a red flag because I did that while on F1 status if I were to go for an H-1B visa interview?
Well, so that brings up the bigger. By the way, JP, I love all these questions, and I'm glad how knowledgeable you are on things. It's great to hear someone asking all these great questions. I have a question for you. Why in the world would you leave the United States to go get a visa stamp right now? It's completely unpredictable. You might not ever get a stamp. You might be stuck outside the United States for a year. Why in the world would you do that?
Right, I understand that. That's why I came on the show just to ask, just to run it through someone.
So to get to the question that you actually wanted me to answer, let me think about that. So do I think a consular official would ding you when you go to get your H-1B stamp for having filed a self-petitioned I-140 while in F1 status? That's a good question. I think it's a close call. I think most officers would miss it. I think that the chances of it being a big issue are relatively small, but the problem is that if they, let's just walk through it. So they conclude that you had immigrant intent. You'd already entered on your F1. The real question is, yeah, I think you're okay, because the real question is, when it comes to immigrant intent, what was your intent when you came to school? It's okay to change your mind once you enter on a non-immigrant visa. People do it all the time by getting married to U.S. citizens or by, filing for an employment-based green card. That part's okay. If you were going overseas to get another F1 stamp, I think that would be more of a problem. But as you mentioned at the top of your question, the H-1B is a dual intent, so I think you're okay.
Okay, and so because like on the DS-160, it does ask you that question where it says, has anybody ever filed an immigrant petition on your behalf? So I was a bit unsure how.
So you'd have to say yes to that. You'd have to
No,
say
right.
yes.
I understand yes, but it gives you like a spot to explain. So it was just like they're looking for a receipt number, or they want to know like what dates it was filed, and then what date it was denied also.
I don't think it's going to be a problem for you. And of course, this just boosts my initial question to you, which is, why would you leave? Right. I mean, I know people need to go see their family and stuff, but it's just, I mean, if you watch this show or if you see my emails, I get contacted all the time by people who thought they were going back home for an easy visa stamp, and they just get screwed and stuck.
Right. And in the event of a 221G, is there any like kind of recourse for that, or is that just you kind of have to wait it out?
We've had real good success suing on 221G delays, but I mean, that's usually when someone's been out of the United States for 6 or 12 months. So that's, then you're like, well, can I even do my job from overseas? What's my employer going to do? Are they going to want to cancel my H-1B? There's just so much writing on it.
Okay. Well, thank you. That helps a lot.
Got it. Thanks for coming on, JP. All right. Next up, Ahmed. Hey, Ahmed.
Hey, how's it going, Jim?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing well. So I'll be so quick, Jim. I was trying to cut you for the last 3 months. You sounds like you're a busy guy. So I applied, and I came to the state 2013. I applied for asylum in 2014. I filed it by myself. I didn't get any attorney that time. Then after the filing, by a 40 day, I got the interview in 2014.
Wow.
Yeah. And after the interview, by 2 weeks, I got recommended approval from the officer in the. I'm in Sacramento, California, by the way. And from 2014 May, I heard nothing from them. Keep quiet, keep it quiet, keep chasing guys. What's going on? Then in 2019, they did re-interview for me again one more time. I asked the officer anything negative. She said nothing. Blah blah blah. And we're gonna give you the result in 2 weeks. And again, from 2019, the re-interview, I heard nothing from them. Then I decided to make a mandamus. And I believe that like 4 months ago, I called your office. They said we don't deal with the mandamus right now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I got rejection a week ago, 3 days ago, or 5 days ago. And in the rejection, they said, we think you are ineligible. And due to that, we decide to cancel your recommended approval.
Shit.
And
why did they? Why were you ineligible? Why did they say why?
We don't believe you are like you're alive and threatening in Baghdad. I'm from Iraq, Middle East, and we don't believe in this stuff. So we decide to send you to the court.
I mean, it's so ridiculous to me. I had an asylum case denied out of the LA asylum office a couple years ago for a family member of Saddam Hussein, whose father was in the military, who fought against the Shia, and the Shia are running the country. So the idea that they are denying these asylum cases out of Iraq, it's just total bullshit. So you're going to immigration court.
They set me on May 3rd on immigration court. Actually, I have a kid. She born here. Like me, my wife, and the other kid, the oldest one, we are involved in the case. But the youngest one, she born here. So, Jim, I'm totally lost. I don't know what to do.
Well, you need to hire a good immigration court lawyer. I can refer you to someone. We're not doing deportation anymore, but I have a good friend in San Diego who does it. I have a friend in LA who does it. Is your court in Sacramento?
I'm in my court is in Sac, yeah.
If you want to send me a note in the private chat, I can send you an email with a couple names for people.
You guys, your office don't take any more deals like this?
Nope. We have like eight deportation cases left, and we're winding them all down.
Okay. So I'm gonna send you then on the chat, on the private chat, send you a message. Hopefully everything will be okay.
All right. Thanks, Ahmed.
Thank you, Jim. Have a good day, sir.
Good luck, my friend. So there you go, everybody. That's the other side of the coin. I mean, that's what I talk about when people say, oh, I have a slam dunk asylum case. And I'm like, oh, you think you do? And look at this. I mean, even and now he's finding himself on his way to immigration court. So that's the thing about mandamus. It's a powerful tool. It's a great fast forward button, but it's certainly no guarantee your case is going to be approved. And it's also an example of what happens when you don't win your asylum case, where you end up in deportation. Alex is right. There's definitely something wrong with immigration, and people from the Middle East, they are not treated fairly. And the idea that people could be sent back to Iraq, where our own embassy is freaking closed because it's not safe, freaking sucks. Say hi to Maria. Hi, Maria.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So I have a couple of questions regarding my case that I filed in 2020. So I originally I'm from Pakistan, by the way, and I came to US in 2012 as an international student. Completed my degrees, later on got married earlier 2018. But I filed for my 485 and I-130 together in December of 2020. So I already have my EAD card and travel authorization. That was approved in September last year, 2021. After that approval, I got the interview, which was also in September, and the interview went great. The guy started off a little rough, but it converted into a friendlier conversation.
Which field office?
It was Wichita, Kansas.
Okay.
Yeah. So my question is, during the interview, there were 4 clerical changes that were made. There was this question that you have to declare that if you have any relative, sibling, parent, child as a U.S. citizen. And I thought I'm married to a U.S. citizen, so I thought spouse and relative are two different categories. So I did not check any box. So he made me check the relative box and had me initial that. So there were a couple more questions like that. So my question is, having changes made that are like that, would that impact my case in any way? Like, would it put it into a delay or?
Has your case been delayed since September?
Yes, I have not heard anything after the interview. It just says it's under review, and
That's more. I think that's more Pakistan than it is any edits they make to your forms. The point of the interview is really to make sure that all the information in the forms is correct.
Mhm.
Unless they sort of catch somebody lying during the interview, changes to the forms don't matter, and they're used to making changes. So things like that, especially if you didn't have a lawyer.
No, I filed it. Like me and my husband went together. We filed it ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And
especially if you don't have a lawyer, the fact that you might miss something on like not understand that a spouse is a relative in the English language, I mean, that's not a big deal.
And he went through every single question from I-130 application and 485, and there was nothing wrong. And like I said, it went to a very friendlier mode of conversation, joking about
Did he
things.
do Did he do the I-130 first or the 485 first? Do you remember?
I-130 first. He asked my husband all those questions, and then 485
Yeah.
was a longer one, so then it came to me. And we were interviewed together. We weren't separated or anything.
Were you videotaped?
No,
And
it was.
did they ask you to sign a written statement where you typed up your answers to stuff, or no?
We did take an oath, but we didn't do anything else. And he did mention at the end of the interview that, like, we asked if everything looked good. So he was like, I don't see any problem, and I just have to write a review and pass it on to my manager. I'm not authorized to take a decision today. You'll get the decision a few days from now. He actually mentioned 120 days, but we have not heard.
Sometimes in my experience, this is funny. I should make a video about this, but the more experienced the officer, the less questions that they ask. So to me, usually when I see an officer who asks every single question, unless they're weird or a nerd, they sort of consolidate the questions. They have a rhythm. Like when I prep a client now for an interview, I've done it so many times that I'll take 4 questions and combine them into one, and you get this rhythm of your own. So when people read every single question, that usually tells me that they're a brand new officer. And so when people are a brand new officer, like I said, unless they're weird or a nerd, then they often have to get that supervisor approval. That's why they get delayed. And then the other thing is, I mean, there's this thing right now at immigration that's been there for a while, ever since. You remember when that lady, you might not even been in the States, but this lady and her husband shot up an office in like San Diego or Southern California somewhere, and she had come from Pakistan. They made a big news about it on Fox News and everything. So for a long time, they've been watching women from Pakistan. So I don't know if they're racially profiling you or what, but
So that brings me to my second question. I recently traveled. So I went to Pakistan in December 2021. I came back in January 2022. I wasn't asked any question, like I wasn't stopped. So if there was anything wrong with my application or case, would they have asked some kind of question or like delayed or?
no, left hand doesn't know what right hand's doing. They wouldn't connect those two things. But I will say this. So I have a couple. He's a doctor and she works in marketing. They're from Pakistan. They live in New York. And I've literally had to sue every single state to get them benefits, right? But one of the things that they were really concerned about with the wife from Pakistan was this is before COVID, they had gotten an interview notice for the interview. And the interview was 5 weeks away. Well, the day after the interview notice comes, the U.S. citizen's dad either died or got sick in Pakistan. So the day after they get the interview notice, the couple left for Pakistan. And then they came back like 3 days before the interview. So this is the first time, it's now happened 2 times. This is the first time this ever happened to me. I flew to New York. We drove out to Long Island for the interview. We get there and they say, "Hey, we don't have your file. We can't do your interview today." So that totally sucked. But I don't think it had anything to do with being there. I think they were concerned with the trip. Yep. So that travel that you just had, even though obviously you had permission and it's all allowed, I suspect that you're probably going to need to sue them. And I think that if and when you sue them and you're going to get another interview, and they're going to want to know all about your trip.
Okay, because during the interview, I was still planning to go to Pakistan, and I mentioned that to the interview officer that if any decision comes or if I need to provide more evidence, I'm planning to leave for a short duration. Would that impact in any way? And he was like, no, if anything, if you are being called for a second interview, which I don't see the need right now, you can just postpone or reschedule it. I mean, that's what he said at that time. And it ended on a very positive note. But it's been close to 6 months now, almost 6 months. And we haven't had any response about it, nothing.
Bizarre.
So, another thing, being from Utica, Kansas, we were planning to move to New York. Would that impact our case in any way now that the interview is done and everything has been processed? And if we still update?
If a decision somebody's making a bunch of noise. I don't know who that is. If that's really weird. If you move before the case is decided, that'll drag things out more. Yeah, for sure.
So we should wait.
Yeah, or sue them and then move.
Okay,
After you get a green card.
That wouldn't impact in a bad way.
No. We sue them all the time.
Okay. And like I mentioned, I came here in 2012, and this is 2022 going on. It's for me, it's a very long time. So I was thinking if that makes a difference, like I've been in States for this long, and I haven't been involved in anything, never been out of my status, completed my degrees that I came for, not even a single red flag. And then when I got married in 2018, we didn't file right away because we didn't feel the need to. We filed a little later, close to 2.5 years, close to 3 years. So does that make a difference on application in a positive way, or does that impact?
Only that you'll get a 10-year green card because you waited instead of a 2-year green card. It doesn't hurt for sure, but I mean, as far I can see that you've gone through every possible reason why your case has been delayed.
Yes.
And the thing is, even
anything.
I've sued them 1,000 times, and they never once have said, "Oh, Jim, you caught us. Here's why we delayed Maria's case." You never find out. So, it's just
they just make a decision without telling you a reason that okay.
Right, unless they deny it. If they deny it, they have to give a reason. But I mean, you've told me nothing that I'm worried about.
So if they are thinking of denying, do they send an intent to deny?
They're supposed to. They don't always. But the rules say they're supposed to.
So is there any negative impact the longer a person waits after an interview, the worse it is? Or is it still chance that it's just procedural delay, maybe?
I think it's Pakistan.
Oh, and me being female, I guess.
Yeah, like, maybe.
Okay. So there's nothing else that you think, in your opinion, that's going on?
I mean, you can call them and bother them and see what's going on, but I think...
Do they tell you anything different than what you see online, like when you check your case status?
As somebody said earlier today, and I think it's true, I think you could call that number 3 days in a row, ask them the exact same questions, and get 3 wildly different answers, because I think they just make it up.
Okay, that's not comforting at all. But well, right. Okay, thank you so much for your time.
Maria, thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it. All right. So I saw a comment here that I wanted to... Kofi says, can you sue and travel right after, or if you sue, you shouldn't plan to leave the country until the decision? We usually ask people to either go on your trip and then sue, or to sue and wait until you get a decision to go. We just think it's better. And of course, if you're suing to get a green card, that's always better to sue and then go to the get your green card and then go. All right, let's talk to Kim. Hi, Kim. You're on mute. Kim, you're on mute.
Okay, sorry about that. Thanks for having me, Jim. I have a question here. My mom filed for me in 2008. I think the filing date is 2009, September 27th, right? And I know the date is coming up closely because they're at September 2008, September 8th. I am at the 27th. But my sons were also included, my family. I'm a married child. I want to know, is there anything I can do or we can do to keep my children from aging out?
How old are they right now?
They are 30 and 27.
30 and 27. So they most likely aged out. We could do the math later. And there's sort of a calculation. It depends on how long the case was pending at USCIS. But the 30-year-old in 2008, you said you filed in 2008, or she filed in 2008?
8.
So in 2008, the 30-year-old was 17.
Yes.
So it depends on how long the case was pending at USCIS. Do you remember how long it was just at USCIS before it gets sent to the National Visa Center?
No, I don't know. Because I have not heard anything from them yet. I have just been following online.
So here's the thing. This is all math, right? So it's actual math. You have to sit down and there's a calculator you use for it, and you have to look at all the dates. So we could figure that out for you, but just here between you and me, the 30-year-old probably aged out, the 27-year-old probably aged out too, but I would need to see how long the cases were pending at USCIS, and I'd have to see all the dates.
Okay. So how do I get those to you? Can we have a consult?
Yeah. So call the office or email the office and tell them that you were on the show, and then send us the documents and we'll look it over. We can do the math. It just takes a little bit. I just need I need everyone's birthdays. I need the I-130 receipt notices, the I-130 approval notices, and the rest we can do.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You got it. Yeah, for sure. Have a good day. I should probably do a Child Status Protection Act little segment on the show. I could show everybody how that math works with maybe some hypothetical cases. That would be fun to do. Maybe I'll do that next week when I get back from vacation. All right. Let's talk to Diallo. Hi, Diallo. Oh. How are you?
Hello, Jim. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Sure thing.
So I have a few questions about H-1B, when that I'm an asylum seeker. So I am an asylum seeker, and I have not been called for my interview yet. I came here legally with a H-1B, and now I am out of studies. Before I filed for asylum before, and now my employee wants to file for H-1B for me. Now, I understand that I will need to do a counsel processing because of my studies, but I want to know, I would like to know if what is the likelihood to a H-1B to be accepted, knowing that I'm an asylum seeker if I go out?
Who told you to consular process?
That's just what I think, because I need to adjust my studies.
No. So there's a debate right now. As to whether someone who is in asylum seeking status, or who is seeking asylum, I should say. So if someone is in the United States, they're on a valid visa, they apply for asylum, then the H-1, the non-immigrant visa expires. They never have their interview on the asylum case. Their case remains with the asylum office. And as you said, the asylum office takes years and years. There's a debate right now that the Biden administration is trying to figure out and to switch the policy. So the Trump people said that's not good status. And actually, I think Obama people said that too. But the Biden people, according to what I'm hearing based on a lawsuit I have on file, they're revisiting that issue, and they said they're going to make a decision sometime this month.
Okay.
So if they decide that that's valid status for purposes of changing status, that might help you. But as of right now, as the way things stand right here today on February 9th, 2022, I don't think it would work. And even if it does, even if they do change it, I think that the chances of the success are still going to be like 20 or 30%. They're not going to like your case. They can try it, but I sure as heck would want you to change your status in the United States, not to go overseas and consular process, because in theory they could say, well, it be expired a long time ago. We don't want to give you another H-1B because you're just going to apply for asylum again or whatever. You know, you'd have to get parole to leave on your asylum case. It'd just be a big old mess, and I would not want you to do that.
Okay. So that leads me to the other question, because before the company mentioned about the H-1B visa, they initially talked about the green card before they changed their mindset about it. So I would like to know, what how that process would look like if we go with the green card.
It's the same question. The same question. The major problem with your case, as far as getting an H-1B or a green card, the major problem is the same. The major problem is that you're not in valid immigration status under the law right now, so as to change status to an H-1B visa holder or to adjust status to that of lawful permanent resident. I would say that just keep watching this show and maybe check back with me in a month or so, because the U.S. Attorney just told me yesterday that they're revisiting it and they hope to have a decision on this, say, in the next 3 or 4 weeks. It should make the news and everything, but just check back and I'll let you know.
All right, Jim. All right, sounds good. Yep. Thank you very much for your time.
Bye, Diallo.
Okay.
All right, let's talk to Don. Hey, Don.
Hello, Jim. I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time. So, good afternoon, first.
Hello.
I have a question. I've been living in the United States since I was 11. I'm currently 21 years old. My dad became a U.S. citizen before I turned 18. What I've been trying to do is get my citizenship because my green card expires next year. So I want to know, I have the N400 passport form, and I was going to do the N600 online. I don't know what way to go.
Don't do both.
Passport, or do I need to fill out one of the forms?
Yeah, you want to do an N600. You want to nail down once and for all that you're a U.S. citizen. You might be able to get a passport, but the passport doesn't really clear up your immigration history because the passport is the State Department. So if you came here when you were 11 and your dad got his citizenship before you turned 18, you should be good to go. Was your dad? Did you when you came when you were 11? Has your dad been here that whole time too?
Yeah, he's been living here way before I even got here. And
so yeah, so what I would say is you should call our office and have us research and make sure that you're a U.S. citizen, and then file the N600. You don't want to file a bunch of forms and just let them sort it out. You want to be laser-like and say, I know I'm a U.S. citizen, and because I'm a U.S. citizen, I get an N600 approved. Approve this N600, and then I'll go get my passport.
Okay. Would I need to submit any type of documents from him to the?
Yeah, you got to prove. You have to prove it all up.
Because I was gonna request my passport, because I was told that the passport, just because the green card is gonna expire next year, I could have the passport for right now until I get the whole certificate situation done. But I want to know, like, since like on the passport form it shows like you have to submit like a U.S. birth certificate and stuff. I just want to know, how do I bypass the fact that I still have the green card? Like, what documents do I show to prove that?
I honestly don't know, because I don't ever handle people's passports. That's something people do on their own, so I don't know. But as far as if they're asking you for documents or proof, I think you have to give them everything they ask for. I wouldn't try to bypass anything.
Oh, because I'm out, but like on the passport form, it shows like the U.S. birth certificate, and I wouldn't have that.
Yeah, so just you have to give an explanation and tell them what you have. You're going to have to prove up even to the satisfaction of the State Department that you're a U.S. citizen. So you're going to need to show your entry. You're going to need to show your green card. You're going to need to show your birth certificate. You're going to need to show your father's entry. You're going to need to show your father's
certificate
of citizenship. So if you are going to do all that stuff, I would say do at the very least do the N600 and the passport at the same time. Don't. It's easy to get the passport, but it doesn't give you a lot of great proof of status. It's good. You can come and go as you please, but it doesn't clean up your record with immigration, and that's what we want, so that you don't ever get deported, so that you can sponsor someone else if you want, and so that you can come and go as you please. It's really important to nail that part of it down.
Right. Thank you. Last question. Do I need to just like fill out the passport form with the pictures and just like take like photocopies of all the documents and just submit them in like a packet and send them off to the department?
Yeah, and I would walk them through why you think you're a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
Like you have to explain it, because like you said,
it's good to write a letter into.
Yeah, you won't have a U.S. birth certificate, so you're going to need to explain why you think you're a U.S. citizen.
Okay, all right. So I'll write a letter and I'll try to make copies of those documents, put them in it, and I'll submit them. And if anything, I'll just keep you updated on that information.
Sounds good, Don.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
See you, buddy. Good luck. All right, let's talk to Shahed. Hi, Shahed.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Thank you for letting me for this question. So what happened is I left the United States, moved to my husband's country for a few months, like 8 months, and then I went back here, settled here, and then applied for my green card. And when I got my green card, after a lot of like arguing and delaying, I almost lost my green card. They made a mistake, and my brother found it. They made me like resident from the date I entered the second time, not the first time. Even though I spent like 8 months here, and then I moved to the UK, where my husband lived, and then we went back together here, and I started living and applied for my green card. So
Okay.
the first like on all of my other like family residency date was February the 6th, and mine say it's August the 8th or August the 10th when I was back to here to the United States for my second entrance. Is there any way to like correct that mistake, because it was by their sides? Because I have another family members who left and came back, and then they got their green card residency date from the previous entrance, not the second one.
Why do you care?
Because I'm due, if my if it was like February the 2nd, 2017, I am able to apply for my citizenship, but now I need to wait 18 more months according to my new entrance date was placed on my green card.
Okay, so let me make sure that I understand. So you and your family got a green card, got approved for an immigrant visa, not based on marriage, but based on some U.S. family member to one of your parents, right?
Yeah, it was through the IOM program.
So the whole family comes to the United States.
Yes.
And they all hang out, and they eventually receive their green cards with a start date of February 17.
Yeah, some of them like stayed and they got the February the 6th one, 2017. Some of them left and came back, and they still got the February 6th, 2017. But me only.
How long were they gone versus how long were you gone?
They gone for like 12 months, and I left for 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, I think, and so when you came on that first trip to America, how long did you actually stay in the United States?
so I arrived in February 2017, and I left in December 2017.
And had you hadn't applied for the green card?
No, in these 8 months, I didn't apply for my green card, thinking that I am going to live with my husband, settling there. Everything was planning to stay there, where he was used to live. But then we decided to just move back to the U.S. He had his tourist visa. He was like visiting. I settled here. I had my baby, and after me going through his paperwork, I had the chance to apply for his green card through my green card. And then during the process, we discovered there is an issue with my residency date, and that will make me lose almost 18 months and I need to wait until I can apply, because it moved from 2017 to August 2018.
So you want to know what I think?
Yes.
I think your green card is right, and the other family members who left probably is not. And so I think they actually did you a favor by giving you that green card start date, because sometimes they put the wrong date on there, and I've seen people say, well, you came as a resident and then you left and didn't come back for 10 months. I think your start date on your green card is accurate.
Oh.
Because you were gone for so long.
So I don't need to apply for placement.
I wouldn't. I mean, you certainly are free to take a shot if you want. Obviously, jumping 18 months ahead in line isn't a bad thing, but I think you might actually be setting yourself up for problems with naturalization later. I would just leave it alone and treat that as your start date.
I see. So even I went back after I stayed here for 8 months, and then
but you didn't apply.
Yeah, because when a green card, you need to wait a year until you can apply.
I understand. I'm just saying, I don't think they did anything wrong.
Okay. So you think that other people?
And I think the other family members either A, got lucky, or B, have the wrong start dates on their green card.
And maybe they will have an issue with them applying early for their citizenship.
I've seen those denials for N400s. Exactly. They take the fee for the N400, then they drag it out for a year, then they deny it and said, hey, the start date on your green card is wrong. Even though it was our mistake, you're screwed, and you got to get a new green card, and we're denying your naturalization and keeping your money. That's what I mean when I say I think they did you a favor.
Okay. Yeah, because they did apply with them by themselves, but I applied it with attorney, so I was extra careful with everything, with the details.
I think yours is right.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good news, I guess. All right. Thank you so much.
Right. Bye, Shahad. See ya. Okay, bye. All right, got time for a couple more. Let's talk to Ali. What's up, Ali? You're muted.
Hello, Jim. How are you?
Good. Let's try and keep it quick. I want to get a couple more people in. How are you?
Sure. Good. How's up? I just wanted to make it very quick. So my wife, she has an interview at the U.S. Consular December 14. So the consular told her after the interview, we should put you on administrative process. So the next day, we just received the form 5535. And then we just completed and sent it back to them. And then they said in another email, they saying, we just received your form, and then we have just to wait. We cannot predict how long it takes for completing the process. So I've been married for 6 years. She's been I've never seen her for only 2 times since we got married. So I just need your advice. What to do?
When did USCIS approve the I-130?
It was 2000. 2020, 21, 20,
So just
20.
20.
Yeah.
And which embassy is this? Ankara or
Ankara,
Amman?
yeah.
So December, I'd say I'd give him like 2 or 3 more months, and then if nothing happens, I'd sue him.
Okay. So contact you about like May, maybe May,
Yeah, I'd say late April.
late April. Okay. All right. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Ali.
Bye-bye.
Sorry about your wait. See ya. All right, we'll talk to Ibrahim, and then we'll hit Simon, and we'll call it a day. Ibrahim, how are you?
Good, Jim. How are you?
Great. What can I help you with?
I have a question. I'm in a removal proceeding, but I got married in 2017, and I applied for my I-130 who got approved. So my master hearing was in November last year. So we went to the court, and my lawyer asked the judge to dismiss the case, and the judge refused to do so. And he said he wanted to wait till I go to my green card interview. So I wanted to know if there is something I can do about it. And he even gave us a new date to appear in court in March next month on the 13th.
Was the I-130 approved or not?
It was approved.
Well, you can't have a green card interview if your case is still in court. So that's weird that the judge said that. Something's not right.
That's why that's the same thing my lawyer told him, but he refused to dismiss the case.
Well, I don't know what your lawyer filed, but I would file a brief or talk to the government attorney and ask them to join in termination. That seems weird. Otherwise, you gotta adjust in court, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Adjusting in court's not bad. So you need to tell the judge either revisit this denial of the motion to terminate removal proceedings, or let's set it for a green card hearing here in court. So the judge, is that what the judge means? That the judge wants to hear from you himself on or herself on green card? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, they can do that. They have that power. That's not is the court date in March for that?
Yeah, I have a second court date. Because when we won there, it gave us 3 months to come back.
So the lawyer has filed the I-45 with the immigration court?
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. You're okay.
No, the I-45 was filed with the USCIS.
While you were in removal or not?
Yes, I'm in removal.
You filed the 45 after removal proceedings started?
No, yes. Because I got here in 2015.
Yeah, the lawyer didn't do it right. The 45 has to be filed with the court, not with USCIS.
Oh, okay.
So, like I said, we don't do deportation, but this is the one thing we do. We will help with an I-130, either filing it or approval if the person's in removal. The lawyer's not doing things right, I don't think. If you want to get your file together and send it to us, we can take a look.
Okay, I can do so.
All right, Ibrahim. Thanks, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right, everybody. I'm going to talk to Simon here. That'll be our last call today. I just want to remind you, Noor is trying to get our TikTok numbers up. So find us at Immigration Hacking, and you can see me dance around like a fool and do other stupid stuff on TikTok. So give us a follow. Noor's trying to get our numbers up. All right, Simon, what's up?
Hey, I'm good. Just a quick question, so I don't want to keep you for long. So I'm married to a U.S. citizen for 2 years and 8 months. We have 2 children. Both of them are American citizens. I'm not an American citizen. Do you think that, do you think I can apply for an adjustment of status before I hit the 90-day, 90-day rule without having trouble with the USCIS? Because I know that if you come in America with a tourist visa and you file for an adjustment of status, you can have some problems if you apply before hitting the 90-day rule. So I only heard that.
Let's back up.
Okay.
So your spouse is a U.S. citizen.
Yes.
And you and your spouse have been married since when?
2019, 28th July.
Okay. And you and your spouse have 2 kids.
Yes.
And you've been living outside of the United States, but at some point in the last 90 days, all of you moved to America.
Okay.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
And so what happened when you came through customs? What was that conversation like?
Well, usually, is that I initially came to, for example, they ask me what am I doing, and I come to my in-laws. You know, my in-laws, they're living in the U.S. obviously, so I told them that I'm supposed to, I'm coming because I wanna. They want to see the baby, you know, because I just got a new baby that just got a consular report of birth, you know, I just told them that I just came to visit,
So I want to give you a little bit of coaching, okay?
Okay.
So if you enter the United States with the 100% certainty that you are going to apply for a green card on this trip, that would be a problem. But if you came to see your in-laws and show them the baby and the other kid, and you realize, boy, we're really tired of living outside of the United States, we'd like to live here, and you decide to file a green card during this visit, that would be okay. All right, so that's a really important distinction. Whether you intended 100% to come and stay, that's a problem. If you made up your mind while you're in the United States on this trip, then it's not as much of a problem. Okay, do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so
yes, I don't understand.
now to get to your question, I would wait at least 90 days before I filed that application. No reason not to.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That was easy.
Good, thank you. That was easy. Yeah,
All right.
That's what I wanted to know for sure.
Yeah, definitely wait. All right, thanks, Simon. All right, everybody, that'll do it for today's show. Now, tomorrow we'll be off for Amani's birthday, and then we'll be back on Friday at 9 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock p.m. Central. So that'll be a little bit unusual, but it'll be fun. We'll probably get a different crowd. We'll see you guys at 9 o'clock Central on Friday night. We'll see if anybody shows up. Could be a short show. Peace out, everybody.